Hi, my name is Ashima, and I'm a research consultant at the Center for Law and Policy Research. Today's podcast is being recorded on the 27th of September 2017. For today's podcast, we're doing an interview with Jessica Lynn, who's a famous trans rights activist and advocate, as well as an educator and public speaker. She has been committed to increasing transgender awareness in the community for many years now. As a parent, she has been fighting to see her youngest son after a Texas court removed her parental rights of her then 12-year-old boy due to her gender transition. She currently works as the president of Your True Gender, a non-profit organization that is dedicated to educating the community on trans issues. Hi, Jessica. Welcome to Center for Law and Policy Research.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Thank you. So I just have a few questions. So you've been traveling across India and you've been doing talks and everything in colleges and universities. So what do you feel are the biggest challenges which is usually faced by the transgender community when it comes to family rights?
Discrimination. People do not understand it, and so they say it's a choice. And so a lot of kids get kicked out of the house by if they come out trans, non-binary, queer, somewhere in that shade of gray, and people kick them out, and so these kids are homeless. And it's very common here in India is what I'm hearing. This happens a great deal in the United States, and there's just major discrimination against people like ourselves. So what we need to do is educate the people that we're just normal, everyday people. And I find that the very best way to make the movement a better way for the future of the trans community.
So if I ask specifically related to like family law, like marriage, parental custody, adoptions and things, what do you think there are the biggest challenges, and how do you feel we can change the law to start accommodating the transgender identity much more than it does right now?
We're not looking for anything extra. We're looking for equality, okay? In my case, I proved beyond a shadow of a doubt, 2 experts stated that I was a better parent, and yet a judge removed all my parental rights because I transitioned. You find it in the United States that a lot of parents that go through transition issues have huge battles upon their hands, fighting their exes, their other spouse, their ex-spouse, about custody and visitation and just to see their child. And the one parent usually turns the child against the other parent, and it's very common. And then you have now children that are coming out as transgender, and in the United States you have parents saying, no, I don't want my child transitioning, and the other parent saying yes. So you have court battles going on about that. So it's a very tricky thing, and what we really need to do is to teach people that we want to be treated equal. And that's my goal, is as you said, is I tend to hit the colleges, universities, and I do it around the globe, and I hit as many as I can, because you guys are the 20 to 25-year-olds. You're going to be a parent one day. You're going to be a teacher. You're going to be an attorney. And you're going to have clientele, and you're going to have a child that comes to you and says, I don't fit in that shade. I fit somewhere in that shade in the middle, right? And you're not going to kick them out. You're going to raise that child to see who that child is, if he wants to be a girl or if she wants to be a boy, or if they want to fit somewhere in the non-binary category. You're learning and accepting them, and this is what I think is by hitting these key people is the way we're going to change the future. It's not going to happen overnight. Our country, we've passed major laws, and our new administration has came and removed them all. So laws aren't always the greatest thing, but what we can do is just educate. Laws are important, but people remove laws, just like what's happening with us. But if we can educate the people, the future parents, the future teachers, the future lawyers, and the future Supreme Court justices, we're going to change the world inside out, and we're going to do it properly, so there will be no more setback. That's my goal.
That's great. So in light of your own experience in India, what would you say? How do you feel the people, are they receptive? Are they aware of transgender rights issues? Or
I mean, it's a really weird situation here. It's because what you have is you have the trans community kicked out, basically, and you have and I cannot pronounce the name, but basically a cult that holds these transgender people in there so they don't work. They're beggars or they're street workers, they're prostitutes, and that's the only people that they have. So what we need to do is integrate the people into so that we can get them regular jobs, and so that they don't have to go out there and working on the street, and they can go out there and become an attorney and become a doctor and become a school teacher and become a crossing guard, whatever it is. Just because they happen to be part of the transgender community doesn't mean that they can't do it. Some of the most intelligent people in the world happen to be part of the transgender community. So it will open up. And that's why I said it's the very best thing is to do that by doing it this way. And forgive me, I forgot what your question was.
Generally, do you feel people?
I see
aware?
India. Yes, I do. In the college or university that I've been with, and it's usually the older people that are the problem, right? But in the colleges and university, I've spoken at numerous law schools here in India, and I couldn't tell you. I think my trip I will have been here for 20 days, and I've done 20 different campuses, from Calcutta to Delhi to Hyderabad to all over your country. And these are the top law schools of your country. And these students are completely receptive. I've never met a student yet that has said, you know what, I'm going to kick my child's child, or I don't accept the kids. So it is changing because you guys are the future. But the conversation needs to continue. When I leave here, I just happen to be one voice coming in from the United States. I'm attracting attention because I'm an American transgender woman. But next week is you bring another transgender woman. This following week, you bring a transgender man. You continue the conversation and you continue the fight. And the fight is educating the world to equalize us, to make us be just like everybody else, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah. That's also sort of like how my last question is going to be. What message would you want to give to the audiences who can't attend it today, but who are listening to this podcast?
Is learn, accept it, reach out, learn, talk, communicate is the biggest thing. Don't be afraid to ask. If you know somebody that happens to be part of the transgender community, talk to them. Ask how they want to be called. Learn from them. Explore it. Don't just say, oh, it's a choice. Because it's not a choice. Nobody goes through that kind of pain their whole life. You'll see my presentation here. Nobody does that to be different. Right? It's just, it doesn't happen. We don't want to be outcasts. We want to be part of normal, everyday. I want to sing, I want to dance, I want to be loved. I want to live a normal, everyday life. And that's what I want the rest of the world to do. I want us to be all equal, exactly equal. Not above, not superior, just equal. And have equal rights. And just to be treated and loved like everybody else. That's my goal.
Thank you so much for being here with us today. And to our audience, thanks for listening. Do follow us on Facebook on Center for Law and Policy Research for more such talks and interviews and updates.